Welcome back. This is the final one, and we're ending with real protocols.
Yep, dopamine levers, creativity states, porn risk, and why friendship is basically life support.
I love how the cold shower went from science to public service announcement.
That sperm cooling aside was so specific, I felt personally attacked.
But it also proves the point. Tools work, but details matter.
The whole theme was shift states deliberately, don't just hope your day fixes itself.
And the weirdest part was food as a motivation hack, like a dietary intervention.
Right? He's basically saying, cut the crap for 2 weeks and you start craving the healthy stuff.
I buy the reframing, but the bloody salad makes me gym-motivated part sounds almost too clean.
Clean, like I'm eating vegetables with various meats, is not a personality, it's a spreadsheet.
Wait, but it did sound like he fell into a loop. Better sleep, better mood, better training.
That's the downstream effect argument, and it's actually plausible. Body feels better, mind follows.
The dopamine angle is doing work here. Fewer junk inputs, more reward sensitivity to good inputs.
Dopamine isn't bad, it's just the currency of motivation, and it gets overspent.
Which brings us to cold plunges, sauna, movement, state shifting like a cheat code.
I'll always push back on extreme claims, but state shifting tool feels honest.
Then we went from physiology to pornography, and suddenly it got intense.
And it stayed grounded, dopamine peaks, then troughs deepen, and you chase more intensity. I see.
The part about effortless access was the dagger.
Because the brain expects dopamine after an adaptive pursuit, not delivered on a tray.
I mean, the internet makes everything frictionless. Porn, gambling, stimulation. It's all one swipe away.
And society pretends it's just freedom, until someone's real-life intimacy starts malfunctioning.
He basically said, we're not doing morality, we're doing biology and thresholds.
Exactly. He compared it to other high dopamine bypasses like meth or gambling, then said pattern matters.
But I did have one gripe. Abstinence as a primary solution sounds too binary for real lives.
Yeah, and he even admitted it's subjective. What's harmful depends on the person and context.
Still, the young guys think they're stuck and dejected part. That's the real human data.
And the alternative question is brutal. If you remove the habit, what replaces it?
Which is why the episode pivoted into meaning and connection, not just stop.
The morning text thing was so annoyingly practical, I nearly rolled my eyes.
I'm still rolling my eyes, yet it's also genius.
Because it's not about the words. It's about reliable social prediction. I'm not alone.
That tribe feeling, like your brain gets a signal of safety before you even think.
Also, you text at the start, and now the whole day has a witness.
I do worry people outsource connection to rituals, though.
True, but he wasn't saying ritual replaces love. He was saying ritual buys time for love.
That's a weirdly good line. Ritual buys time for love.
And the episode hammered that friendship is the base protocol, even when romance exists.
He talked about the one really reliable friend idea. No need for 1,000 people.
And he made it personal. He has core people he checks on. Frequency is less important than depth.
I loved the Star Wars orbiting robot metaphor. Presence, then reset, then back.
That explains half my social life too, honestly.
Same. But then he got emotional about friends showing up during storms.
Yeah, the image of someone literally being there in your room after stuff goes public and ugly.
That's the counter to the dopamine trap. Not more stimulation, but real support.
He kept contrasting fixing with sitting in the mud.
Which is basically the opposite of the modern internet urge to debate your way out of pain.
Speaking of which, his whole take on online narratives and comment sections felt sober.
Right. 3 options. Counter, silence, or agree. But do it like an adult, not a keyboard gang.
And he was blunt. Online is cherry-picked, skewed, and you don't have full optics.
I mean, the internet is a machine that turns partial information into certainty.
It's dopamine with comment boxes.
Okay, but I actually liked how the episode tied everything back to sleep and creativity too.
The idea of capturing ideas, notes, voice memos, notebooks, because unconscious stuff leaks out near sleep.
Journaling and writing down cues. Sounds like a productivity tip until he turns it into neuroscience.
His two inverse states thing was nice. Body still, mind active versus body active, mind free running.
And then he connects it to different meditation types. Focused breathing versus open monitoring creativity.
I'm cautious with meditation claims, but open monitoring linked to creative capacity in labs is at least grounded.
Also, the NSDR and circadian talk earlier, entrainment, sunlight, timing workouts, was a whole arc.
Yeah, like, don't just chase hacks, understand your clock and temperature curve.
Temperature curve explained by a grown man is still funny, but it lands.
The man was basically like, sleep requires your body to drop 1 to 3 degrees. Cool, cool.
Then he answered the meta question, is night owl biology or habits?
And the compassionate part was, you can offset troughs with tools, rest, hydration, caffeine, without pretending you're superhuman.
That leads into therapy and the compassionate observer idea. Sat with suffering, then navigate the next 5 minutes.
That third position model is basically stop wrestling your thoughts, use feelings as a dashboard.
I love that he called it woo, then immediately proved it's operational in the next sentence.
And the relationships section, honestly, felt like the human payoff for all the protocols.
The breakup protocol sucks confession. Brutal but real.
And the counterpoint from you? In his case, love requires skills, self-care, communication, boundaries.
Self-care and communication 50 times is going on a poster somewhere.
It's the relationship version of meat and salad, honestly.
The final meaning of Lifeline was simple. Make the best choices, learn, and share tools so people can be better.
And he ended where we started, not just performance, but goodness and connection.
So if I had to reduce this whole 2-episode chaos into one protocol, text a friend good morning.
And if you feel like you're chasing dopamine with zero effort, add friction and add people.
That's the upward spiral. State shift, then support system.
All right, that's a wrap on this series. Thank you for sticking with us.
We'll see you in the next one. Go be kind, go be curious, and send the text. Welcome back. Somehow we're at episode 2 already.
We went from cold dopamine tricks to circadian energy to porn debates to the real finale, friendship.
The control your dopamine thing somehow turned into text a friend.
Yeah, like neuroscience wrote the script and friendship stole the show.
But I love the through line. Dopamine isn't evil, it's just currency with rules.
And those rules are brutal. Big spikes without effort can retrain your baseline.
Especially pornography because it's high intensity and stupidly easy to access.
I'm not in the ban everything camp, but the motivation warp is real.
The argument wasn't moralizing, it was basically levels and duration matter.
And the brain is like, cool, now I need more drama for the same arousal.
Plus dopamine, plus prolactin post-orgasm, there's a push-pull that makes recovery complicated.
Prolactin showing up like the bouncer at the club. Not again, buddy.
Meanwhile, people think it's just horny teenagers being horny. It's biology plus habit loops.
And the part that messes with guys is, what's the alternative? Abstinence leaves a void.
Exactly. So abstinence as advice needs scaffolding. Relationships, dating, connection, meaning.
Meaning seemed like the missing link, like isolation plus dopamine chasing equals trouble.
And then we slam dunked into the one trusting relationship idea.
The morning text thing is so low effort, it's almost embarrassing.
It's like paying your social membership dues in tiny installments.
Good morning is basically a ritual that tells the nervous system, you're not alone.
And that's the dopamine angle too. Rewards with reliable social grounding.
I used to think rituals were cringe. Then I watched them work on people's mood and behavior.
Also, it's a lever against doom scrolling because you're choosing a connection before the feed grabs you.
The feed is the casino. The text is the exit door, with a handle you can actually touch.
Speaking of handles, cold plunge, sauna, and the heat sperm thing got surprisingly frank.
And fair, heat isn't evil, but if you're conceiving, viability matters for 60 to 90 days.
Cold isn't a cheat code for everything, it's just a state-shifting tool.
People always want magic, but biology is schedules and feedback loops.
Which is why the circadian stuff felt practical. Exercise before 9 a.m., sunlight early, cooling at night.
I liked the body temperature logic. Peak afternoon equals afternoon sleepiness for many people.
It's hilarious how your calendar becomes your thermostat.
And we also got the offset the trough tricks: hydration, caffeine, and NSDR.
The NSDR line killed me. Non-sleep deep rest sounds like sci-fi until you try it.
Still, I'm cautious with people treating it like a substitute for sleep forever.
Yeah, it's optimization, not denial, which mirrors the don't be too restrictive food point.
Food as an intervention, like meat and salad, in a consistent context, changes your motivation.
He made travel into a dietary experiment. That's unreasonably efficient.
And the carb timing, fasting till noon, starch at dinner, felt like listen to your own data.
The countercurrent part is always the funniest. Eat less carbs, and then suddenly he has receipts.
The deeper point was reframing food perception. Healthy becomes more attractive when you stop rewarding crap.
Like your taste buds eventually unionize.
And then the creativity segment, ideas geysering when the mind stops forcing.
The open monitoring meditation and body still, mind active pattern was actually coherent.
Running with no headphones is basically meditation with sweat sponsorship.
I also liked the mode of capture thing, writing down cues before sleep thoughts bloom.
Because your unconscious is a powerhouse, and your notebook is the dump truck.
Dump truck is accurate and gross. I'm stealing it.
Just don't dump your brain into your laptop at midnight like a maniac.
Which circles back to discipline, not suppressing desire, redirecting it with structure.
And discipline got emotional on the relationship side. Letting go was the hardest protocol.
That admission, staying too long, empathy gone too far, it's painfully human.
The compassionate observer framing helped too. Sit with suffering, then choose the next 5 minutes.
That's such a good bridge between woo feeling and neuro feeling without pretending it's magic.
Still, the third position language might sound airy, but the mechanism is basically regulation and reappraisal.
Regulation is the point. Shift state, then choose action aligned with values.
Dopamine tree of levers, but the trunk is relationships.
Exactly. Sleep, movement, sunlight, food, cold, meditation, cool. But friendship keeps you sane.
Like you can do every protocol and still spiral if you're lonely.
The friend who just sat in the mud is the medicine people underestimate.
That's why the final meaning of Lifeline was simple. Make the best choices, learn, and share tools.
And he ended with the smallest actionable step. Text a friend good morning.
It's the relationship version of meat and salad, honestly.
Upward spiral, state shift, then support system.
All right, that's a wrap on this series. Thank you for sticking with us.
We'll see you in the next one. Go be kind, go be curious, and send the text.
Welcome back. Last time we mapped the dopamine tree, and today we tied it all to meaning.
Yeah, like sleep, sunlight, food, movement, and then the real closer, friendship, and that morning text.
I can't get over how he kept saying, it's not restriction, it's reframing what you want.
Don't be too restrictive, but also cut out the crap, which is such a motivational sandwich.
Exactly, like eat your salad, but don't become a monk about pie.
Still, I love that he was almost aggressive about saying everyone's biology is different.
The body temperature logic for sleep timing was wild, though. Exercise earlier, then you crash later.
And it made sense why his whole morning light plus movement thing sounded less like vibes.
It sounded like a circadian clock with a marketing budget.
Bruh, the suprachiasmatic nucleus had better be getting sponsorship money.
But what hit me hardest was the state-shifting tools, framing, NSDR, hydration, caffeine, sunlight.
Yeah, like you can be in a trough and still choose the next good move.
I always thought those tools were supposed to solve you, not just carry you.
That's the discipline part, using physiology to stop emotional chaos from running the show.
Also, he was like, hydrate. And I'm sitting there like, why does that feel like permission?
Because it's so basic that your brain can't argue with it.
I liked the whole idea of capture too. Write cues, notebooks, phone memos, don't trust memory.
The unconscious geysering explanation was oddly calming for creatives like us.
And then he connects it to why ideas pop up during showers, walks, even peeing.
He said it so casually that I had to respect it. Biology is weird.
The male urinary innovation pipeline for creativity.
Hey, open monitoring meditation meets mind wanders while body does its thing.
But the colder turn was the pornography dopamine section, right? He wasn't moralizing. It was mechanics.
He did walk the line, though. Biology, dopamine, then potentially problematic like 5 times.
Yeah, and his core claim was high dopamine stimulation without effort can raise the arousal threshold.
The way he explained dopamine as currency of motivation seeking, not pornography specific, was smart.
And the trough gets deeper idea, so you need more intense stuff to feel anything again.
Plus the prolactin refractory period stuff, again, not glamorous, but it's a real mechanism.
I'm still stuck on Coolidge effect chicken farm energy.
Same hen or different hens? The most dopamine question ever asked.
I did appreciate the nuance. Real-world intimacy is different from dopamine fireworks on a screen.
And also he basically admitted the data are messy, but the pattern concern matches what people report.
The part that annoyed me slightly, only slightly, was abstinence is the answer, because people ask, what's the alternative?
Exactly. If you just remove a behavior, you still have an anxious, bored, isolated brain.
But then he gave you the alternative. Socially, emotionally, meaningfully.
The plot twist was friendship as a dopamine stabilizer.
It went from cold showers and circadian clocks to send good morning. That's a full U-turn.
And it wasn't corny in the end, it was low-bar, reliable connection.
He framed loneliness as an isolation crisis and said one trusting person each morning changes your nervous system.
Do you think it works just because of expectation and routine, or because of genuine care?
Both, but I'd bet the routine matters first. Your brain likes predictable social cues.
Yeah, like the tribe is there when I wake up, even if it's just a text.
Also, it's so hilariously doable that people can't bargain with themselves out of it.
I'll meditate for 45 minutes, verse good morning. Instant win.
The micro-protocol that beats the grandiose protocol fantasy.
That's basically the whole episode. Small levers, consistent use, and downstream effects.
He also kept emphasizing not over-policing life, like don't become restrictive, become strategic with effort.
More activity, less food intake, and exercise early, and cool room, warm blankets. It's all tiny nudges.
Tiny nudges that somehow lead to best shape of my life. Ridiculous, but believable.
Believable because he made it feel like intervention, not punishment.
And then he got personal with storms, misunderstandings, and friends showing up in the real world.
That "they just sat with me" line hit me hard, because it's the opposite of problem-solving mode.
Like the medicine isn't a hack, it's presence. Sit in the mud. No agenda.
And it ties to dopamine again. Social connection is an effortful reward system, not an instant spike system.
Which might be why the meaning section landed. He kept saying healthy goals protect you from dopamine traps.
Do you buy the directionality, though? Like, do goals reduce porn, or does porn reduce goals?
It's probably both, but he sounded pretty confident. Pursue healthy goals, build relationships, reduce isolation.
The multiverse of dopamine, feedback loops.
Still, the practical takeaway is don't isolate, don't chase easy high without effort, and capture ideas.
And the ultimate protocol is friendship. Your morning text, your list, your checking in.
He even made it feel like a kindness ritual, not a productivity task.
You don't have to share everything, but it's still intimacy, reliable attention.
And we're ending here because the series basically became dopamine management plus human connection.
Yeah, because discipline without people is just self-torment.
And people without discipline is chaos. So we need both.
Amen. Okay, next step for anyone listening. Send the text you've been delaying.
Seriously, tomorrow morning. 1, good morning. Then let the upward spiral do its thing.
That's our final protocol for the series. Kindness as a habit and chemistry as a tool.
All right, that's a wrap on this series. Thank you for sticking with us.
We'll see you in the next one. Go be kind, go be curious, and send the text.
Welcome back. This is the final episode. So we tied dopamine to discipline and friendship.
We basically ended at the same place. You can't out-protocol loneliness, and you can't out-explain it either.
The dopamine thing is cool, but the way it connects to sleep, food, and relationships, that was the whole arc.
Yeah, it was like, motivation isn't magic, it's biology plus environment plus other humans.
And cold showers, sunlight, and moving, those weren't treated like stunts. They were treated like levers.
I loved how they made morning light sound like an actual cheat code, not a motivational poster.
Wait, but you know what bothered me a little? The tone sometimes makes it feel like anyone can copy-paste schedules.
Exactly, because your circadian rhythm might not care about your optimism.
But they did at least say schedules differ by people, life stage, and energy troughs.
True, unlike most Be Better TikToks that just assume you're the same creature at 6 a.m.,
And the personal bit, like doing early work, getting NSDR, then showing up groggy but suddenly alert, felt real.
he sounded like, I'm a night owl, and then the next line is basically, also I wake up at 6:45 and I'm fine.
Bro was just narrating the contradiction, like it's normal.
The deeper part, though, was the idea of state-shifting tools, not one holy ritual.
Right. Like food and sunlight and exercise weren't only for health, they changed motivation and sleep downstream.
That dietary intervention example was wild. Same environment, better food, and suddenly he's excited about training.
Still, I don't love the word dopamine being used like it's the master switch.
Welcome to the entire internet. Everything is dopamine until it breaks someone's sleep.
But I'll give it credit. It's pointing to reward and motivation dynamics, not just feel good now.
And then the pornography discussion came in, which was intense.
Yeah, because it wasn't moral panic. It was high intensity, easy access, less effort over time, possible threshold creep.
I kept thinking, the brain likes novelty and expects effort-based rewards, but the internet gives you dopamine buffet instantly.
Which is hilarious, because the whole modern sales pitch is effortless pleasure.
The strongest point was the comparison. It's not just porn, it's anything that spikes dopamine without effort for people prone to addiction.
Sure, but I also felt the danger of making everything too deterministic, like biology writes your destiny.
If biology wrote my destiny, I'd be eating salads and journaling in peace, not arguing with you on a podcast.
Exactly. The antidote they kept circling was discipline plus replacement, structure plus real connection.
That's why the end segment about friendship landed so hard.
Because dopamine management is cool, but is there someone who cares if I'm okay today? Hits different.
That morning text protocol was the mic drop for me. It's tiny effort, but it builds reliability.
And they framed it like tribe membership, almost like social light exposure, just for your nervous system.
You could call it social circadian entrainment.
Don't you dare. Someone's going to make a chart and sell it as a supplement.
But seriously, the if you don't hear by noon, you worry a bit detail is such a human calibration.
Yeah, the nervous system learns, I'm not alone when the day starts.
And the best part was how they didn't pretend friendship fixes everything instantly.
They treated it like scaffolding. something you do daily so you're supported when chaos hits.
Also, the mode of capture thing earlier, writing down cues, voice memos, felt like another scaffolding layer.
Yeah, that's dopamine without the addiction. You externalize the idea so your brain stops hoarding it.
And creativity through stillness or movement. Body active, mind free, or body still, mind active.
I buy the phenomenology, but I hope people don't treat it like magic either.
It's not magic, it's just you giving your brain permission to run unconsciously for a bit.
And then you come back with a notebook like, oh, right, I have a life.
Exactly, because if you don't capture it, it evaporates like a half-remembered dream.
The therapy and compassionate observer idea also fit this. Don't just fight feelings, notice them, then choose next actions.
I liked how it turned suffering into a compass. What feels tight, what feels loose, what's the next 5 minutes choice?
Sit with the suffering is the most hated advice ever, but the structure behind it is useful.
Yeah, because the alternative is compulsive scrolling, drinking, or panic protocoling.
And they were consistent. Protocols should serve your life, not replace it.
That's why the outro message about meaning landed. Purpose tied to service, not to dopamine chasing.
It wasn't be productive. It was be useful, learn, share, and stay connected to people.
And also, stop pretending you can do everything alone.
I think that's the real thesis of the whole series, honestly.
So final step for everyone, one good morning text tomorrow.
Then, watch how the upward spiral shows up in sleep, focus, and your ability to handle cravings.
And if you're lonely, don't wait to feel ready. Send it like a small act of faith.
All right, that's a wrap on this series. Thank you for sticking with us.
We'll see you in the next one. Go be kind, go be curious, and send the text.
Welcome back. It's the final episode of our dopamine and discipline run.
We covered dopamine levers, sleep, food, sunlight, cold, and then zoomed out, friendship and meaning.
The wild part was how small protocols stacked into motivation and mood.
Yeah, like you eat a salad and suddenly you're fighting for your life at the gym.
It's basically a dietary intervention, but with downstream effects on sleep and energy.
And the brain goes, oh cool, food doesn't hurt my vibe anymore, right?
I'll push back though. Cutting carbs and timing meals is individual, isn't it?
Totally. He basically said everybody's slightly different, but temperature and timing matter.
The circadian biology part was my favorite. Work out early, feel alert, then body temp peaks later.
And the logic of needing that 1 to 3 degree drop to fall asleep, that part hooked me.
SDR, sunlight, hydration, exercise. It's like a morning raid, but for your brain.
Morning raid is exactly it. Just no loot, only better sleep and less chaos.
The plot twist was cold showers being a state-shifting tool, not a magic personality transplant.
And then he casually warned about sperm viability, like, okay, thanks for the PSA.
The fact he offered an ice pack workaround while staying calm is so him.
But the deeper message was still dopamine ecology. Big spikes, low effort, easier addiction routes.
That's where pornography entered the chat. Dopamine levels, anticipation, novelty, and thresholds.
I appreciated the no moral judgment angle, but I also wanted a little more structure.
He did structure it as a dopamine and prolactin seesaw, then talked about refractory periods and novelty.
Coolidge effect got mentioned, and suddenly we're all in biology class again.
Honestly, though, the your trough gets deeper idea makes sense in a motivation framework.
Like your brain demands a stronger stimulus just to feel normal again.
And he was careful that it's not the same as real-world intimacy and partner interactions.
Which is why the harm is less about sex is bad, and more about dopamine training wheels everywhere.
The uncomfortable part was the abstinence framing for porn addiction. Simple, but not easy.
Because abstinence without an alternative is just avoid, right?
Exactly. And he implied that the solution has to include real connection and real goals.
Goals that build your life forward. Like business, craft, relationships. So you're chasing meaning, not just more.
More is literally dopamine's favorite word. Wall Street, what's your number energy?
And the punchline is, dopamine is a currency, but you don't build a life on currency alone.
Then the entire conversation snapped into friendship, which surprised me.
Not surprised me, because he kept saying all along, you can't do this alone.
The most actionable thing he gave was the morning text, like a tiny anchor to the tribe.
Good morning text, that's it. I love how low the bar is for something that feels huge.
Does it matter what you say, or just that it's reliable?
He said it's care first, but the reliable ritual matters more than the perfect message.
My group chats are brutal, though. People tell each other to off themselves.
Yeah, that's not good morning. That's good morning emotional violence.
Exactly. But the idea of if I don't hear by noon I start worrying is kind of cute.
It's cute, but it's also biological. Predictability equals safety for humans.
He even went into social circuits. Primates need eye contact, shared routines, not isolation fantasies.
If you can't have people, get a dog or fish. That was his ecological fallback plan.
And it ties back to addictions. If your brain is starving for connection, it will rent novelty elsewhere.
So instead of asking, how do I stop porn, we ask, what will my brain do for belonging?
Yes, and he was very consistent. Protocols aren't just discipline, they're scaffolding for better choices.
The notebook angle was also wild. Capture mode for unconscious ideas while the conscious mind tires.
He's basically saying, dreams and creativity are your brain rearranging the filing cabinet.
I liked the body still, mind active idea too, like thinking in complete sentences with your body quiet.
That's where he connected to open monitoring meditation and long runs. Creativity is a state, not a mood.
And then he pivoted into meaning and therapy and self-compassion, which turned the episode emotional.
The compassionate observer idea, third position, was honestly one of the cleanest psychological models he offered.
But sit with the suffering sounds like something that could get abused by people who don't do the work part.
Fair, but he kept emphasizing, don't mask feelings with physiology alone, and don't just analyze endlessly either.
So basically, don't binge scroll your feelings and call it regulation.
Or get into cold water and pretend your attachment wounds evaporated.
Right. Protocols help, but relationships still require skills, communication, self-care, showing up.
And he talked about that friend shows up, just sits in the mud idea.
That Barbara Chapman story, the girls remembering unstructured time, just hanging out, hits hard.
Friendship wasn't presented as advice delivery, but as presence delivery.
Which is brutal for everyone who wants to fix things instantly.
You think his main thesis for the series was dopamine management? Or was it actually connection?
It was connection disguised as dopamine management, like the machinery leads back to community.
Because if you're motivated by healthy goals and supported socially, your dopamine system stops seeking cheap shortcuts.
And that's why the final protocol is so tiny. One message, one reliable check-in.
I'm thinking about my own group, like, who would genuinely appreciate a "how'd you sleep?"
Don't overthink it. Pick one person, send it in the morning, and let the ritual do its job.
Tomorrow morning, I'm doing it. No witty captions, just the basics.
And if they don't reply, still keep your integrity. Don't turn it into punishment training.
That's a key point. Being kind doesn't require reciprocity, but reciprocity changes your life anyway.
All right. Final wrap for the series then. Send the text, respect your biology, and build with people.
It wasn't be productive, it was be useful. Learn, share, and stay connected to people.
And also, stop pretending you can do everything alone.
That's the thesis, and it's why friendship ends the story.
Final step for everyone. One good morning text tomorrow.
Then watch the upward spiral hit your sleep, focus, and cravings.
And if you're lonely, don't wait to feel ready. Send it like a small act of faith.
All right, that's a wrap on this series. Thank you for sticking with us.
We'll see you in the next one. Go be kind, go be curious, and send the text.
Welcome back, Malik. This is the final episode of our longer conversation.
We went dopamine first, food, sleep timing, cold, heat, creativity states, and then friendship as the real stabilizer.
The thing that stuck is how control your dopamine turned into control your environment.
Yeah, like it's not moralizing it, dopamine is just currency for motivation seeking.
And the wild part was the framing that highly stimulating, low-effort stuff can rewire your baseline.
I'm with you, but I still want to push on the certainty. Dopamine talk gets too absolute online.
Fair, but the pattern sounded consistent. Big spikes, then deeper troughs, then needing more intensity.
Exactly. And he connected that to pornography, not as evil, but as potentially hyperstimulating and easily accessible.
The "it finds you" line was basically a horror movie trailer for the feed.
Abstinence as a clean answer, but then you immediately get the, okay, what's the alternative question?
Because you can't just delete a behavior without replacing the nervous system's pathway to reward.
And that's where the conversation pivoted into meaning, goals, and most importantly, social connection.
The morning text thing felt almost too simple until it didn't.
A good morning exchange is like giving your brain a predictable social anchor.
I liked how he made it non-performative, no long emotional dumping needed.
Also, it's basically frictionless accountability. If you care, you check in.
I'll admit, I'm usually the "I'll message when I have something" guy.
That works until the day you realize nobody's inside your life like that anymore.
Damn, bro, cold open to the loneliness crisis.
But the point wasn't shame, it was design. Dopamine seeks reward, and relationships are high-value reward.
And he tied it back to isolation crisis, versus one reliable connection.
I'm stealing the phrase part of the tribe because that hit.
But do you think friendship actually competes with porn and other compulsions, or just patches the mood?
It's both, right? Mood support lowers the urge, but the bigger thing is effortful meaning replacing effortless novelty.
Yeah, if your brain only knows easy high, it keeps asking for easy high.
Whereas if you have a goal and a person, the reward system learns alternatives.
That's also why he talked about replacing restrictions with movement and good structure.
The holiday pie line was funny, but the message was real. Be strategic, not rigid.
His food timing sounded extreme, though. Carbs less during the day, starch at night.
I loved the everybody's different disclaimer because otherwise that would be a crusade.
The underlying theme was still the same. Make your body want the schedule.
Like the dietary intervention becoming a perception reframing, now I'm excited about the salad.
And sleep timing was basically circadian engineering. Body temp, sunlight, activity, and light discipline.
Put your phone in another room sounded like the oldest biohack and also the hardest.
He even used NSDR and a tiny caffeine and hydration offset, real world, not fantasy.
The creativity segment was my favorite tangent. Body still, mind active, or body active, mind free-running.
Open monitoring meditation and force yourself to think in complete sentences felt delightfully weird.
Weird but actionable. And I'll take that over wait for inspiration any day.
And then he tied it to capture, notebooks, memos, whatever keeps ideas from dying in your head.
That connects back to dopamine too. Novelty is powerful, but retrieval is power.
Also, the sperm heat part was unexpectedly educational and wildly specific.
He casually went cooling your testicles, like it's part of the protocol tree, iconic chaos.
But the caution about contraception was the adult in the room.
Overall, his protocols were really levers: physiology, environment, and social support.
Which is why the closing idea, friendship first, felt like the final keystone.
Friendship isn't just comfort. It's a framework for better decisions under stress.
So yes, one good morning text tomorrow. Don't overthink it, just do it.
And if you're not lonely, brag to your friend that you're consistent. Turn it into culture.
All right, that's the final protocol. Learn, move, sleep smart, and stay human together.
Thanks for riding this series with us. Go be kind, go be curious, and send the text.
We'll see you in the next one. Take care of your mind, your body, and your people.